Hello and welcome to our viewers in Poland, the United States, and all points in between. My name is Dan Hastings. I'm the Culture Attaché at the U.S. Embassy in Warsaw, Poland, and we're delighted that you could join us for this virtual music concert series. We conceived this series as a celebration of the wonderful people-to-people ties that connect our two great countries. And what better way to celebrate those ties than through the uplifting connective power of music. Tonight is the second concert in our three-part series. If you'd like to see the first concert, which took place on July 2nd, please go to the Embassy's YouTube channel at U.S. Embassy Warsaw. Next Thursday, July 16th, we'll hold our third and final concert. The stars of our music series are not only extraordinary musicians, but also music scholars. That's right, Polish and American scholars from the Fulbright program, America's premier academic and cultural exchange with the rest of the world. This program enjoys incredible support from the Polish and American governments and sends about 120 scholars to each other's countries each year. If you're interested in the Fulbright program, and we hope you are, please check out information at the website en.fulbright.edu.pl. We hope you'll apply. Tonight, we are very lucky to have a very special Polish Fulbright scholar perform for us. She is an award-winning cellist, an acclaimed international musician, and a passionate educator. Outside of Poland, she's performed with chambers and orchestras in Italy, France, Germany, Austria, Australia, India, Belgium, and the United States, among other musical destinations. Her passion is chamber music, and she graduated from Krakow's Music Academy and Belgium's Conservatory in Brussels. She spent her Fulbright year in the United States in 2014-2015, studying with the legendary cellist Eric Kim at the Jacobs School of Music at Indiana University. This year, she is a doctoral student at the Mead Witter School of Music at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. At the same time, she also represents Poland as a member of the International Global Leaders Program. Tonight, it gives the Embassy great pleasure of sharing the amazing musical talents of the Polish cellist Magdalena Sas. Please note that after Magdalena plays for about 30 minutes, we will be holding a 10-minute question and answer session, so please send in your questions during the transmission to our Facebook page. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is the amazingly talented, internationally renowned musician, Magdalena Sas. Over to you in America, Magdalena.
Good evening, Poland, and good afternoon to everyone who is listening to us today from the United States. I am very happy to be here today, and I wanted to thank Daniel Hastings and the U.S. Embassy Warsaw team for facilitating all this and for initiating this wonderful virtual summer concert series. Today I will present a selection of pieces that are written for an unaccompanied cello. I think this is a very difficult time for all of us, and we were isolated from one another for a very long time, and many of us are far from their friends and their families, including myself. And I think music is the perfect tool to bring people together, even virtually, and have them share an experience, have them share some emotions. And I'm really, really happy that I can share my music today with you, and maybe through this help you to connect with me and with any other person who is listening today with us. The first piece comes from the all-time favorites for the cello solo, Bach's Suites. I will start with a movement from Suite number 6, which was written, or rather meant to be played, on a 5-string cello. Today, we don't really have access to this kind of instrument anymore, at least cellists such as myself. I have a modern instrument that is only 4 strings, and this means that this particular suite poses a lot of additional challenges to all modern cello players. But still, I think it's one of the most beautiful pieces that were ever written for the cello, and I hope you will enjoy it. This is Alman from Suite number 6. tonight is a sonata for solo cello written by a Hungarian composer, György Ligeti. I think many of you know this name simply because Ligeti was a very famous soundtrack composer. And I think one of the most famous movies that he wrote his music for is Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey, that I guess many of you have seen and probably remember the music. That was a very powerful addition to this movie. I chose this sonata for today for two reasons. Not only is it is one of the most virtuosic and beautiful pieces that was written for the solo cello, but also it brings back some memories from the time when I was a Fulbright scholar at the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. I worked on this sonata for the first time when I was preparing my graduate recital at Indiana University, and by playing this today for all of you, I feel like I am somehow connecting to the past and to that period of time that was very special for me. And I am really grateful that I was given this opportunity and I could spend a year studying at this amazing school and with my amazing teachers. I hope you enjoy it. The next piece I'm going to play was written by one of the most prominent composers from Poland, Grażyna Bacewicz. This piece was originally written for a violin, but is extremely popular amongst the cellists as well, just because it is a very short but really full of technical challenges piece, and at the same time it combines the lyrical, more melodic part with a fun part where we can hear the influences of the folk dance rhythms. And I'm pretty sure everyone who listens to this piece will really enjoy it. Here's Kaprys Polski by Grażyna Bacewicz. And the last piece today comes from the United States. It was written by an American cellist and composer, Mark Summer. Mark Summer is known to be an original member and the founding member of the Turtle Island Quartet. This is it was at the time a very innovative group that was performing music influenced by classical music, by jazz music, and by rock music. They released more than 15 albums and were, I think, Grammy winners twice. So maybe it's good to check them out. Mark Summer has a very unique style of playing and has been a role model for all the cellists that were interested in more improvisational style. He combines his classical training in cello performance with a lot of influence coming from playing with jazz musicians, as well as he developed a lot of extensive techniques using different percussive techniques on the cello, as well as pizzicato, which is plucking the strings. And this is exactly what you are going to experience when I will be playing his piece, Julie-O. Julie-O is one of his most famous compositions, and I believe that most of the musicians in the United States, and I hope also beyond, know it. It can be performed on cello, it can be performed in a duo with a violin, it can be performed on a violin. It's a really wonderful example of how the classical genre can blend with jazz music. Please enjoy Julie-O. thank you very much for being here today and listening to my music. It was a real pleasure to share all these pieces with you, and I really hope you enjoyed it. At the same time, I would like to invite you to tune in to our last concert of the Virtual Summer series that will happen on Thursday, July 16th at the same time, 7 p.m. Warsaw time. I hope you will be there, and thank you again for listening.